Welcome back to Brushes and Blades, and today, as a Grey Knight player, I am very excited because today we're going to do an unboxing and a build video, and kind of a review of the new items on the upgrade sprue that's going to be in this box. I have yet to open it. The plastic is still on it. I'm assuming it's just going to be the standard one with a few swapped out, changed out parts from what I can tell. I would like to say thank you. I know this video is a lot longer and going to be a lot longer than most of my content, so I appreciate your time and patience with this video. I'll make sure I have a ton of chapters throughout the entirety of the video, and let's get into it. Let's get down to the paint cam. All right, let's get right to it. As we already know, he's got a halo, the book, right? New weapons, knee pads, a little dangle, and a different head. That's all I know off the rip. Oh, and the little, like, non-whatever tape-looking thing there. So let's get right into it. That wasn't enough, apparently. Let's get right into it. Nothing else in the box. Instructions. We'll take a look at that in a second. Same size base. That looks like it's pretty much it right there. I'm not seeing anything too different there. Nope, everything pretty much looks the same. How about here? Nope, everything pretty much looks the exact same as all the other kits. All right, yep. So the three sprues are pretty much the exact same. So everything is on this one sprue. Oh boy. All right, let's take a gander at what we have here. So we have the knee pad change out, some kind of cuff, a different head, some kind of panel with a eye on it. All right, we got pieces that are going to be part of the hammer, the new mace hammer. There's more. Okay, it's probably that part right there because that looks like that'll slot right in there. So this is part of this, probably another piece of that. So there's three of those. The book that's going to go on top. I think that's really awesome. The hanging part of the mace, the iron halo, the protector cup. Let's call that the cup, right? And then the big bat weapon is definitely going on when we go to build him. I'm definitely putting this. I'm not quite sure what the new weapon is called. Where's it at? It's not even. That's the old flamethrower. Did they not? Okay, I was about to say, did they not update the book with this? There it is. All right, so we got his missile launchers up front. Where are the missile launchers at on here? Oh, they're built into the chassis right there. All right. There it is. Number 5. Number 5. Melta, twin linked. Melta 4 psychic. That is bananas. All right. And I'm not quite sure on what melee weapon I'm going to go with. But I do know I'm going to magnetize them so I can swap them out just like I did my other Grandmaster. I end up using this. Like, I built the very first one of these. I was like, oh, this is going to be the one that's in my Grandmaster. So I put this shield on it. Then I did one where I kit bashed one and I put it on there again. I think it'll be weird to do it again. So it might actually be unique to put this one on because they all have this one on. Every single one of them that I have. All right. All right. So we have our new kit and the new book. So let's go ahead and crack it open. All right. So that is good to know. Sorry for the glare that we got here. So the upgrade variant is going to be the one that has the blue in it, and the old style is going to be the green throughout the book. Just weird, I guess. If you're buying it with the upgrade sprue, I guess you would still use it. Again, I'm so tempted to put this on my old one that I made. He would be pretty dope. He would be pretty dope to put like all that stuff, all this new stuff on him, and then I would have another normal one to build. So that's a tempting idea down the road. All right, so we're following the blue instructions. Everything is gonna be pretty much the same thing that you've seen. Not really. Let's see, because it's already telling you here, like, to put in all this. Okay, we are already I've got the legs assembled and the lower leg section of the actual guy, driver, whatever you want to call him. Now let me zoom back out here real quick. So on our instructions, we are approaching our first section of the updated items, and it's going to be right here. Instead of using the old Titan plate, we're going to upgrade to this B5, which is this piece right here. Let's get a nice zoom in on this new piece. There we go. And I still got it flipped over. There we go. So we got this, almost looks like the size of a shoulder pad. It's pretty big. This is pretty big piece right here. If we give it a comparison to, here we go. Here's a work in progress guy. It's almost the size of a normal. Oh, that's sad. Their guys are so short. I can't wait for the upgrade. All right, so this piece, let's go by the instructions. So we're looking at this phase right here again. So this is going to go right. It's gonna pop in right here. So this little nub fits on this front nub right here. Go, make sure it's hanging nice and normal. There we go. It's looking good already. Yep, there we go. And we can just go ahead and set that right there. And the next section already has the next phase, and that is going to be, this is also the normal phase where you're attaching the legs to the waist, and we're, instead of using the old knee pads, we're going to use the upgraded knee pads. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do all this on camera too real quick. That locks in there pretty well. I'm just going to kind of dry fit it real quick and see where it wants to sit naturally. It's supposed to sit pretty low there. There we go. All right. We're going to get right in there, and then a little bit along the lip inside so it sticks. And we're going to go just like the box art. We're not going to change anything up. Put that there for a sec. Yeah, that looks way better than just a little metal plate. All right, went ahead and put on other plate. To the other knee in the same fashion. Now we're just gonna sit here for a second and get these going. So we're already on technically our third part of the new model, which is pretty awesome. I don't know why, but I kind of thought they would be like just additional snap-ons, so you could like maybe do it onto like a pre-existing model. That was actually one thing I was shocked at. They didn't release just the upgraded sprue, but now this makes a lot more sense. This is all right. While those are sitting, let's kind of look and see where this is supposed to go. Doesn't really actually specify which way is front and back. Skulls on both sides that kind of indicate that. I'm gonna go with the let's look at the box art. Big swoop. All right, goes like that on the box art. It doesn't give a very good kind of behind the legs, actually. Hold on. Is it supposed to go in here? All right, so make sure you get this on before you let those feet settle in. They go behind feet. I can see the skulls in the picture. Do they go to the bottom of the feet and I'm just misreading this? No, it goes beyond the feet. For some reason in the picture on the box art, it looks like the skull is like the same level as his foot, which would put it more like here. Weird. Picture's not the best to try to figure this out either. All it really references is this right here, which that is behind the legs. And to get it all the way up there, it's pretty deep. I guess that's up the right. Yeah, that's I guess that's it. Yeah. All right. So good thing we got this little needle here. So we'll just pull it back a little bit, put a generous amount on both sides. And then where it touches in the back, we'll give it an extra secure point. Boom. Look, it's perfect for this rubber band that I put on here. It's going to hold it a little forward. So we're going to make a connection point right here on the foot. I'm not quite sure we'll get one there, but we'll try. And then back here on the legs. I'll say this over and over again, and anytime I'm building anything major or anything that's loose like this, you'll always see me trying to find additional contact points to get stuff to stick to. So in the instructions, the only contact point is these two little nubs that are way up in there. But if you notice, the loincloth touches the foot, kind of touches the foot on this side, and then kind of touches it's touching the back portion here. So we get a good connection on the back part too. I'm going to take this rubber band and I'm going to put it up front, hopefully. Yeah. No, I want that reverse. I like that. It's pushing up into the feet. Yeah. And that kind of puts it all on line. I like it. I like it. All right. So, looks like we're done for this section for the new stuff. So we'll go into another jump until we get to the next new thing. So stand by. All right, now we are up to the weapons. I'm not going to bore you with the second weapon that I'm going to go with, but I'm going to go with the flamethrower like I always do in the melee hand. But for the left hand, we are going to go with the multi-melter. So let's go ahead and get this built. Turn this so you can kind of see it right here. I haven't put pretty much, his torso is pretty much done. The legs are pretty much done. I didn't put his feet on him yet because I'm not quite sure how I want him to sit yet. But we have built the connecting points for both weapons. But let's go ahead and start working on this multi-melter parts. So let's get the new sprue here, what we got left. And so we are looking for B20 and B19, which are right here and right here. Go ahead and get these off the sprue. Go. All right, so the directions say that these two connect together. So that's too easy. Let's go ahead and get that done. And it's just these little connection points. I keep leaving the gap off. Come on. There it goes. Now too much is going to come out. Pinch action for a second. And let's go ahead and attach that. Why we got some wet on there. I don't think it doesn't look like there's a particular for top and bottom, so let's just go for it. Boom. Push in. Oh, that looks good already. Let's go ahead and get you zoomed in a little bit more so you can see this. And the tank portion just sits. Oh, tank goes back. Goes right there. Little grooves on the back of that. Match these little two grooves right here. And then obviously it's going to sit, oops, right there. So we'll get connection point here. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a connection here and here. Like that. Add a little pinch. Perfect. More pinch. That is long. I like that. All right, now we're gonna get 21 and 22 off. There we go. All right, that's the left one, and that's the right one. So this wider portion here goes up front. It connects into, like, on some of these is the magazine feed, just like that. All right, so we know our connection point is here and at the bottom of the tank. Give you a nice little dollop in there and in there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Other side. Bang. Side to side squeeze. Kind of push them up in there. Make sure they're in there good. All right. That's looking pretty dope. I'm definitely excited about this. We'll give this a little bit more love once this is definitely solid. We still got some mold lines from squishing it together that popped up, like right here and stuff like that. It needs a little resanding. See, that is it for building this weapon. I'm gonna go ahead and build this off camera, so we'll be right back again. All right, we might as well include this part. I got the flamethrower attached and arms complete, so we're gonna go ahead and do the same for the multi-melter. It is fully built. The arm is pretty much fully built, and we're just gonna go with how it connects on there. Let's go ahead and do a dry fit to make sure everything is copacetic. All right, yep, that looks pretty. Oh my god, that looks so it looks so awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get that on there. So that's just a little doobie right there, and a little gooby right there, and a little gooby on the side, and a little gooby on the side, and a little gooby across the back, right there. Boom. All right. And the holes are in, and it is set. And we shall give it a clamp. Boom. Make sure I'm not pushing. Yep, I was pushing that. You know what? Let's give it a clamp right there. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Let's do the same thing to the other one. Make sure we got a nice good seat. Boom. All right. And we'll be back again in a moment when we get to the next part, which let's go ahead and look at the instructions. We're done with that page. Next is the assembly of attaching the arms and attaching the body. Soon we'll be at the weapon, and that's when we'll be back. All right, come to our first conundrum now. I went ahead and started snipping off the pieces of the hammer. Go ahead and get you in a little bit more here. tighter. And I snipped off the handle of the new weapon. There is this very little tiny piece that goes right here. That's also coming off the sprue. And one oddity so far with all the upgrades is that it's calling for, let me get the directions on the screen. It is calling for, so B9 and B10 are what we were just talking about, and it's asking for A76, which is, I do believe, from the normal sprue. Let's see here. That's not that sprue. 70s. Yep, these are the 70s. There, right there. 76, right next to the hammer. So, technically, we are using one piece from the regular sprue to make this piece. All right, so let's get this on here. Let's figure out the best way to do this. So pretty straightforward. Odd that they couldn't just put this little piece on here for you. It's not like it's different for either weapon. But whatever. Let's go ahead and get this one on here. We're going to use probably a little too much on this because I have an idea of what I'm going to do to resolve this problem, but I need this to be 100% set before I finalize my thoughts. Go. All right, so that gives us a skull on both sides. Yeah, that was really weird. Seems to be a very strange piece to be needed. All right, now let's get the fingers and the thumb on there. Same thing right there. There. A nice little squeeze. All right, so let's bring the directions back into this. Cap my glue. We're gonna be talking about this for a minute. All right. Lego sprues. So we have the big hammerhead that goes on like the mallet right here. And then we have the mace, or not the mace, I guess what, flail. That's this big chain that other little pieces use on this. These right here. But I want, just like my other guy, his weapons are swappable via his wrist. I want these pieces to be swappable. So what we're gonna do first off is probably just gonna break out all these pieces for the weapons, put them together, and then go from there. It's like a ball and socket joint. So I have my initial go-to thought is that we'll just magnetize it, but I'm not. I have magnets that are that small. So this would be 3 magnets to do this project. 1 in each weapon and 1 at the base of the handle. So, like I said, so if that's gonna go there and that's gonna go there. The biggest problem that we're probably gonna run into is that this is just literally a ball and socket connection joint. This is easy. We could cut this off, drill into it where it's like half for the big mace part here. But this flail piece, I'm not sure if this magnet, it is pretty strong magnet actually. But it is the smallest magnet I have. I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head what the size of that magnet is. But you know what? We could always fix and glue down the road. So let's start out with the easy one, and that's going to be this mace. Let me move him back a little bit. He's right there off camera. He's fully assembled now, by the way. His feet are loose. I haven't glued his feet into place yet. But his arms are set, or setting, I should say. That was the last thing that we did, was install arms on. Stand up on his own. Stand up, sir. There we go. All right, let's break all these melee weapon pieces out. At least having the option to. So I was going to build this pretty much like box, was my original thought. But obviously that is gone. Alright. So these are just going to sit right in there. Don't go all the way in. They just sit like that. Alright. Let's do this real quick. Oops. Needle wanted to come with the lid. There we go. Go. Other side. Go. Just give that a nice little push. That's pretty straightforward right there. All right, now for the flail. Same thing, we need to clean up the pieces real quick. All right. Now the skulls from the hang point go down, so just like that. We do have different connections. Let me look at these real quick. So I didn't pay attention to which one was 13, 12, 13, or 14. So this is clearly 12, the one that has nothing really going on the back. That's going to go right here. And then inwards. All right, so that's 14. And that's 13. That seems really flush. I guess that would be it, huh? Okay. All right. So the way to tell these apart are the little concave parts are opposite of each other. So it's going to go just like this around here. Let's start out with double dots here. Boom, boom, boom. Lots of glue. We don't want these to come off. That's actually a full. Does it recommend? Actually shows just to put the glue on the dot. No, thank you. All right, skulls down. Nice firm squeeze. And then what's the recommendation? Just basically fill this up. Do sides. All right. Boom. And boom. And give this a nice little try squeeze. I couldn't even tell you which one's which. I like it. This is definitely the one that inspired my chaplain build. This mace. So I used on his crux. I used a bunch of tilt shields that had the skulls. I get zoomed in here a little bit more. There we go. To make it look kind of like this. All right, so editing blue here. We do go ahead and go with the magnet idea. That segment of the video was over an hour long, so I'm going to take that completely out and make a separate video about magnetizing this weapon. So I'm going to put that right here, and I'll see you in a second back to the regular content. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at what is next. All right, now we're on the canopy portion. That's going to be this part right here. I've already put on this. It's the exact same piece that you use normally, except for you're going to add on this iron halo. I have not added on the iron halo yet, so let's go for it. So let's see. Step one, make sure. Oh, and I did go with the dual. So I chopped off, grinded in a little bit, and lots of glue. And we went with a double. So all of my guys have this one. So it would be a good idea to like give him definitely something different. So he's not 100% kit bashed, not unkit bashed like I planned on, but it is what it is at this point. Let's see here, and now we got the arms on. We got the shoulder pads on. I was just making sure I'm at where I'm at. It actually says to put this on before you put it on. Just seems weird. Not gonna trust that. I am going to put this on instead first. Something's, oh, I didn't clean up the ends here. That didn't sit correctly. There we go. All right, so that goes, where's that other connection at? Doesn't really. Oh boy. Yeah. So I wasn't gonna bring this up until the end of the video, but if I was to start over and knew stuff about this model beforehand, it would be not to put this on in like step 3. This front plate here, let's call this the cup hang, has been the bane of my existence almost this entire build. I keep pushing it in and stuff like that. It doesn't really lock on to anything in particular. This would probably be one of the last things. This is going to go in here, and it's basically going to sit flush right there. I would have much rather have put this on after this. So again, so if I could go back, I would not put this cup hang thing on until I put this a harness on. That would have made it a lot easier. Yep, a lot easier. Let's go ahead and get this going. Let's see if I am correct. Then it's just going to connect right here. And the holes on the thing. Yep. That would have made that so much easier to deal with if I would have had a third point of contact. Now I have this gap. Is it supposed to get any glue on the chest? It doesn't say to. But I'm not getting a very good connection point at the bottom here. Hold on. Yep. Goodbye symbol. Yeah, it just doesn't have a good connection point at that. Push him in. I'm not getting seated back in here properly. There we go. Give that a nice little squeeze. So far, so good. He's looking good. Let's get that a little bit here. There we go. Nice squeeze. There we go. Much better. No, it's not. It's not grabbing. Yep, 100%. I would have waited until after this step to put that cup on. Confirmed. All right, that's why I'm oh yeah, we got to put the iron halo on still. Look, just not grabbing. Okay. Nope, that's not big enough. I don't have a clamp that big. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get this iron halo on while we're waiting. It says to put it on the second rung. Not have much of a connection point. It says to put it on here. Okay, it's not on the second rung. I was trying to put it in the gap. Hold on, let me get zoomed back in here again so you can see what I'm talking about. So this iron halo doesn't bring the instructions in too. Doesn't necessarily say right here. It's very kind of hard to see. The band, oh, hard to describe. So these gaps is what I thought it needed to go into. It wants you to put it mid on the second higher one. It has a small notch on the back of the iron halo, or it clamps on this arch portion. Has a slight angle, so you're gonna goob this up pretty good here. So right here and a little up, right here and a little up. Might have been too much, but at this point, who cares? Boom. And we want to make sure that's nice and flat with character. Yeah. Bingo. Well, that one's up a little high. Whoa, good night. Come on. Look at that. And that, like, I got it in there right, and it kind of almost snapped into place. Nice. About midway up. A little over midway up on that second rung. It fits in there real nice. I got it nice and flat with the character, confirming that side angle there. Let's see how we're doing here. This is still not seating. What in the world? I'm gonna have to sprue glue it. And look at this. Freaking thing is like swung back again. My goodness. Alright, at least it's not lifting up like it was. Alright, that's better than it was. Alright, so lesson learned right now. Don't put that on in like step 3 that it says to do. Wait to the end. At least wait to this part right here. Alright, let's see what's next on the directions. Oh, we're going straight into the separate helmets. Go ahead and snap that off real quick. I won't even pause the camera here. I am going to use that head, and of course we're going to use this book. Yeah, I like the detail on this is really nice. The little riblets on the book are going to take in a wash really nicely. It's like actual like pages, like layers to the pages. Oh, I like that a lot. All right, where are you supposed to sit? You just sit on top, huh? It's just supposed to go here. You know what? That might have enough connection points to make me comfortable. And we can cover up that nasty mold line too. Yep. We'll put it right on the mold line. So we don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna put down a little bit here. The directions only call for you to put it here, but I'm gonna put it, it goes all the way down and touches to give it extra security. Come on. I left my, oh God. Left it out without the lid on again. So big bloop right there. Right on the seam, right on the seam, right on the seam, right on the seam. Forward, spread it out so it actually looks like it's part of it. And then we're gonna put this book is at a slight angle, like folded, like it's slightly open, or you know what I mean, like a book would be, but we want to hide the seams with it. Try to scoot this just into position. So it's actually going to be slightly back from center, where it's right on top of the mold lines. Awesome. Nice and seated. And that extra connection point will do a little bit of work. There we go. If I could pull it off and do it again, I would sand down the bottom of this a little bit more so it actually like that super duper flush. So you have more of a secure connection. Yep, that's it. Oh boy. There's my needle nose pliers. We're gonna have them looking straight on. Yep, there we go. Let that set. All right, let's see what's next in the instructions. No, that's it. Tabber, like all the little stuff is next. I'm going to put on all the purity seals and stuff from this kit, and we'll be back for our final review and overview. All right, so big reveal time. Get myself squared away here. There we go. Big hammer, mace, and the flail. There he is in all his glory. So we only did a little bit of kit bashing, and that was to get this second tilt shield on here and magnetizing the weapon so we can quickly change out from mace to flail. I really like it. I'm glad that I took the time to do that. I got to work on this positioning, default positioning a little bit more, but I'm overall actually really happy with how this came out. I really like the detail in this book. This is an amazing piece right here. The detail, where was it? This new weapon is pretty awesome. I really, again, like the detail, like in this gauge right there, like just stuff like that. Pretty much everything else. And again, so let's see. Let's go over everything that's new, top to bottom. Let's put some little organization into this. So, again, the book is amazing. The touch of the Iron Halo is nice. Having a unique helmet. I typically actually don't do characters with revealed faces, but he looks pretty awesome in there. I try to get his hands to match his hands, the mech's hands, so that came out pretty good. We got this new hang plate cup. I'm just gonna keep calling it the cup, and then the tabard, and then the weapon, and the new knee pads. Overall, like I said, I am very happy with how this turned out. I'll let this sit overnight, and tomorrow I'll work on some sanding and stuff like that, where we put everything, some stuff kind of smeared and moved, and a little over pour, stuff like that. I got his feet locked in. I don't think anything else is really loose. The only thing nope, that's finally really locked in. This is still a little loose. Customizing the flail was probably our biggest time sink today, but I'm really happy with the results. It's still technically not 100% done. I want to get it to the point. It's just dry fitted in there right now, so I can magnetize it and remove it like my other Grandmaster of my kit bash that I showed off earlier, for I can just swap out the weapon. The whole hand comes off. But I got to order those magnets that are that size. I want to be able to do the same thing with this one. Again, the only thing that was annoying about building this model was this cut plate. It is, let me verify, make sure I'm not talking out my butt. I'm pretty sure it's on the second page. Yep, second page. And it tells you to go ahead and put it on right here. Front page. This is what the model looks like. So technically, yeah, the second building page. It tells you to put it on. I would have not put this on if I could go back, because it gets in the way so much. I would not have put this on until step 14. I wouldn't have put this on until after I put this on, if I could go back. It was truly annoying. It's been probably 2-3 hours, if not almost 4, since I put this on originally, and it is still loose. And that cement I use pretty much is 100% in like 5 minutes. But nothing else has really caused an issue, unless it's something that I heavily modified. So again, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I can't wait to get it sanded and primed and start working on the paint job. All right, so you pretty much do use all the same amount of bits. I already threw the other sprue away. I used everything off of the updated sprue. It is empty. A different book, which was nice. I was actually expecting that with like maybe like a supplemental page or something like that. Still got to work on the base for it. But that is a project for another day. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. And every stroke of the brush and swing of the blade adds character to your miniature. YouTube thinks you'll like this video right here. And if you'd like to subscribe, click this button right here.